Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things are you? I hope everything's good, great, wonderful, blah, blah, blah. It's raining today, and I've got children tonight, so I'm recording this at lunchtime because I don't have any other time today. We are currently, my work has hosted a statewide technology conference for a very long time, for years. It's aimed towards education, so it's really for educators. And we took a couple of years off, like a year or two off, and then we were supposed to bring it back in person last year, and of course that fell through. So this year we decided to do a virtual conference, and this is my first time attending and or moderating a virtual conference. I've never really been a part of that. Professional development's not really a part of I'm a programmer, so I do professional development on a daily basis, but I don't have to have hours or anything like that to maintain my job. So I've never had to attend these sorts of online conferences before. And we're using a platform that I've never heard of. In fact, it's a platform I don't know that anybody's ever heard of. I think it's a pretty junior platform, and none of the attendees or the presenters that I've had to moderate have any familiarity with this platform whatsoever. And it's been very interesting because, I was in IT for almost a decade before this job, and so I dealt with people with a wide range of skills and sorts of approaches to technology, and having to deal with that remotely through conference software while there are people watching has been really, really interesting. And I've had some characters presenting that kind of don't have on-camera presence, or maybe even have forgotten that the camera's on, which I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to being on camera because I've been doing it for 6 years on a daily basis. Maybe that when the lights are on, I expect it. And I literally have lights here that are only on when I'm shooting video. And on my laptop, I have a light right in my face. So maybe that's like some sort of brain trick for me that says, hey, you can't do the things that you normally do because people are watching. But it's been a very interesting experience. And the interesting part about it for me is the sessions that I have moderated have really nothing to do with my interests. I've moderated things from accessibility training to engaging students or icebreakers in foreign language classes to well, that would be two extremes. I think one goes from this like very detail-oriented specifics about pieces of technology using learning management systems with accessibility issues, that sort of things, down to just kind of having fun with students and keeping them engaged through an online lens, especially when doing foreign language, which can be embarrassing, right? And neither of those topics align with my work at all, and neither of those topics align with my personal interests at all. But for some reason, I found myself very, very engaged, which in the past, I did a lot of videos about going to conferences because I would go to these conferences and they would just be the most dull, droning, ever. Because it's just like some guy from technology company A gets up and tells you about how technology company A has this new product that's going to be amazing. And then some guy from, school district Y gets up and tells you, how they implemented something in their particular institution that really changed the way they do everything, and you're just sitting there like, I don't get it, right? Like I guess part of it being an IT person, like I just said earlier, for me, I do professional development literally on a daily basis. Like I have to learn things as I do my job, because if I don't learn, if I just keep, if I only ever use a for loop, I'll never figure out how to write complex software, right? And so I have to continuously educate myself on language, on structure, on UI, because that's what my job entails. And so I don't need somebody to tell me parts of my job. And that was the same thing. Like, there's something about IT people that when you need to know how to accomplish a thing, it becomes your focus to figure that thing out on your own. And you don't really, like, sales guy from company A he's not going to tell you anything you don't know, right? You're not going to be like, whoa, that's amazing. And I think that in my years of going to conferences, for a decade, I went to technology conferences like 3 times a year. I don't know that I maybe learned 4 things total at dozens of technology conferences. But this, being a education-focused technology conference, there are so many ways to educate. And there's not a clearly written set of rules for educators to say, this is how you get kids to pay attention in class. This is how you deal with accessibility when working with an online learning management system. And for a teacher, they don't have time to spend their work hours researching how to do their job better. Like, that's something that they have to, take their personal time to do, because their days are taken up by teaching kids. And so it was really interesting to see my reaction to this sort of conference atmosphere when it's something I don't have an ego about, right? Like, I'm going to openly admit that my IT ego made me kind of shut down during IT presentations, because it's like, I know this, I don't need to hear it, please stop. But I don't have education ego. I've never been an educator. Aside from doing presentations on skills that I have to either you or in person outside of the things that I've talked to you about here, I've done presentations on other aspects of my life. And aside from those instances where I would be the teacher, I don't have education ego. And so it's something to soak in and learn a little bit about, even though I'm not going to be an educator. I think it makes me, think, especially like the engaging students in foreign language, it really helped me kind of understand a little bit about people who are hesitant to engage, and how you can approach that and make it fun for them to engage, or at least make it less awkward. So anyway, it was an interesting experience, because I think I learned a little bit about my ego today, and these last 2 days, and we have one more day of the conference tomorrow. So hopefully I'll continue to learn, because I really do love it. Yeah. I don't know what the hell I just said for 8 minutes. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is gorganize. It is a verb meaning to paralyze or mesmerize with one's looks or personality. Even without her family's wealth and connections, Marla would likely gorganize all the men who enter her orbit. Gorganize. Gorgonize. So Gorgon as in like Medusa. I didn't really, because I read the pronunciation key, it says Gorganize, Gore, and I'm thinking like that's 2 separate things. But Gorgon, Medusa was a Gorgon.